Welcome back, everyone, and if it's your first time here, I hope you enjoy yourself. Today, we are talking about this secret deck that has just kind of popped up out of nowhere, but has been winning a few tournaments. Like, this deck, as far as I know, was pretty much non-existent and has now won 2 tournaments this week, or 2 tournaments in the last 2 days. So, I think there's something to it. I've been playing it all day, and before I throw the list up, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, like the video. The secret deck we are talking about is Greninja Absol Darkrai with Chinglings. It seems strange when you look at it at first. I mean, when I first saw the list, I was thinking, dude, our damage output is just, it's not going to be enough. Like, there's no way we can get through anything. But there are, your damage output per turn can get realistically up to 120, 140 coming back into your turn, because your opponent will attack into a Rocky Helmet, let's say on the Chingling, and by then, hopefully you have an Absol set up ready to go. Absol plus Darkrai ping plus Greninja ping, all of that will add up to 140. So the Absol is actually hitting for quite a bit of damage with this build. The Greninjas are super easy to set up because we are running double Chingling, double Copycat, double Research. It is just a very, very good way to get these Stage 2 set up. And here, so this first game I have for you is really just to show you guys that, yes, we can do enough damage over time. I am currently playing against a Mega Gyarados build whose entire idea seems to be tank and heal with Mega Gyarados, and then, you know, swing and just win the game through that means. You will see my opponent do a lot of healing this game, and I'll show you, well, you'll see if we are able to overcome this massive, massive Mega in front of us with our measly 80 damage base attacking Pokemon. The rest of the list is very, very simple. I mean, there's nothing really crazy going on here. It's, honestly, the crazy part is pairing Absol with Greninja. Double Cyrus for the consistency. Everything's a 2 count for the most part. And the cool part about this deck list is that it's technically optimal to run the flop Froakie, which means I get to use my 1 shiny flop Froakie, which I feel pretty good about. I usually never get to do that. And what you'll see here is I'm debating where I'm putting this Rocky Helmet. I'm going to put it on the Froakie because my vision for this is I probably will not get double Greninja in play. I've sort of bench locked myself. I can't get the Mega Absol out, which is the only thing that can survive one hit from this Mega Gyarados. So what we're going to try to do is use that Froakie as another way to get 20 damage onto this Gyarados, while also giving me another turn of Greninja ping plus Darkrai ping. So in total, it's going to be 60 more damage. Because like you're seeing, my opponent just has every heal in the world. It doesn't seem like they're slowing down. And I do get the rare candy even. That's still going to be my plan, is to let this Greninja go down for another turn of damage before I send the Darkrai up, or even I could send the Greninja up and then attach to the Mega Absol and use that if necessary, if I don't think that I'm going to have the damage potential with the Darkrai, because I mean, Darkrai's only going to get 1 shot to attack in this match, right, before he gets blown up by Gyarados. So if I can't take it out in that 1 attack, then I need to be walling with Mega Absol EX. My opponent plays a Sabrina here, and I mean, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send up the Greninja. Unless my opponent's holding potions or something, he's going to go down this next turn. There's not going to be another way. And there he goes, Mega Blasters into the helmet. He's got 100 HP left. I can do 120 this turn through the Greninjas and the Darkrai's, and there you go. So all this is just to show that while you're stalling with the Chinglings, you are able to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Greninja pings wherever you want. Darkrai pings to the active. You can take the Chingling, and the Chingling is going to be doing like 50 damage a turn just through Greninja and Darkrai, and then 70 a turn if the Greninja or if the Chingling gets attacked. So it does work out pretty well. Look at this aura. Oh my gosh, he doesn't even see what I'm playing, and he concedes. I could not believe it. He just instant concession. Immediate concession. I'm here. I mean, obviously, I'm starting Chingling. I was just looking at my phone, I think. I can see myself in the video. He flips over a Cleffa. Looks like it's going to be a Fossil deck. I'm going first. And your opponent, double Aura. I think those games were literally back-to-back. I can tell you that the games I was playing earlier today were some like super intense, high stakes. Really felt like I was outplaying my opponents with this deck because you just kind of are able to. There was a game I played, and I wish I had screen recorded it. There was a game I played against a Hydreigon deck, and I was able to completely lock them out of the game while doing Chingling damage, Darkrai Ping, Greninja. I was able to win the game by knocking out their Absol, their Chingling, and their Dino in one turn. And I took 3 points on 3 separate Pokemon in one turn. It was ridiculous. It was the best I've ever... It was like the most satisfying win I've ever had. Not only was it all 3 of... Like, it was... Not only was it all 3 of my points, it was all 3 of their Pokemon in play. So that felt amazing. And my game's gonna glitch out here a little bit. I apologize. Something was wrong with Pokemon Pocket while I was doing this. So there were a couple moments like that where the game kind of just falls off. But how do I think this deck does? Well, I think against any of the rare candy decks, this one feels like they are not even fair. Like, the matchup does not feel fair because you are the only Chingling deck in the format right now, besides like Aegislash, but that's not a real deck. So you are the only Chingling build that, while item locking your opponent, can put on real pressure, real damage pressure to your opponent. Look at this. My opponent just concedes. He sees the Greninja. He knows I am about to knock out this Froakie, get some damage in on the Suicune, and keep him item locked. Like, dude, it is so oppressive against these evolution decks. It's not fair. You also, like, any other Mega Deck, you have the option, while you're not going to be doing it as easily as something like an Absol deck with the Baby Absol, or Blaziken with the Heatmore, or Altaria with the Jirachi. You know, you're not going to be able to target their Megas, like, as easily as they can, because you have to set up a stage 2 to activate your Cyrus plays. And they just need their basic Pokemon and an energy attachment. But you do still have that, like, you still do have the capability to do that. Like, you can see here, I'm looking at Rare Candy Greninja. My opponent's Torchic is going to peck. I can do 50 damage this turn to this Torchic, without a doubt. Now here, I'm going to show you, this is definitely a misplay. Absolutely what I do here. What I end up doing here is, after a couple more actions, because I thought about it for a second, I end up benching this Chingling. And what I've just done is, because I can't attack next turn, I have set my opponent up to be able to go ping 30 onto Chingling, ping 30 onto Darkrai, and eventually win the game just through a Blaziken Cyrus. Now, my thought in why I did that was because I was hoping that I would get a Cyrus on the other end of this, so I could bring up that Torchic in a turn or two and go after it. And I didn't want my opponent to, like, I didn't want my opponent to come up with Torchic and, like, knock out my Chingling, or not come up with Torchic, but I didn't want my I wanted to make sure I had a Chingling. I wanted to make sure I kept item locking my opponent, and then I just ended up getting, like, not so great cards off of the end of that, copycat, and my opponent gets the Combusken evolution down, so it's not feeling great at all. And now I'm looking here, and I'm just going to start building up damage on the Combusken. I don't care about this Heatmore in the slightest, and I am going to bench the Absol, because at this point, either way, I lose to a Cyrus Blaziken play, whether that be on my Darkrai, or if that's on my Absol. So wherever he wants to put the 30 damage down, I don't really care. There's no heals in this deck, so unfortunately, he will just be able to get it. And my opponent, sadly, through Chingling locked, had the straight evolution up into the Mega Blaziken. And so he's going to Tongue Whip, and he's going to choose to go after the Darkrai. I think that's a misplay for him, because this has now opened up me being able to go into Mega Absol, attack, and discard a Cyrus if I find it. I can discard whatever supporter I want. And, like, unfortunately, that's kind of just a play I am going to have to make this turn, because If I don't, like I need to rip that Cyrus out of his hand. And if I give him one more turn to ping the heat more damage correctly on my Mega Absol, then it won't even matter if I get rid of the Cyrus. So this is like my only way, is to go in with Mega Absol this turn and try to rip that Cyrus out of his hand. And I do find the Cyrus. I also would have been fine. No, the Cyrus was definitely the best grab, because what I'm thinking after this turn is I can retreat into Chingling, attach the Darkrai, Greninja ping this Blaziken, and just do enough damage so that on my next turn, Mega Absol can come in, and through all of those damage buffs, I can hopefully knock out the Mega Blaziken. Because it'll also take the Rocky Helmet damage, so he would take 70 damage across this next turn, and then I'd get an extra 20 for my Greninja. So it'd be more than enough for the, or I think it'd actually be perfectly enough to knock out this Mega Blaziken. And here we go. We have the freezing. My opponent's just playing a Pokeball. He's just putting down cards. And he puts down an Entei and attaches an energy to it. So at first, I saw the Entei and I thought, well, maybe I could go after that instead. But it doesn't seem like a very good option for me. I'm not going to gain anything out of going for that Entei. He can just attach to it and then retreat. But then he benches a second Entei. And this is yet another misplay from my opponent. This game is really just to highlight that if you can outskill your opponent and they make misplays against it, you will take the win. Because here, look at what I get to do now. I have double Cyrus in hand. I'm going to ping that Entei. I'm going to Cyrus that Entei. And then I'm going to retreat into Chingling and item lock him. So now my opponent is not able to Flame Patch attach to this Entei, do anything with it. He's going to be stuck here for the turn. I'm going to put him down to 90 HP. Unless this guy is playing a heal for this Entei, I've got this thing locked up. I'm going to win the game this way. And you can do this in other games as well. You see 2 retreat cost Pokemon on the bench without any energy on it, man. You can lock that thing up. And for the most part, between Greninja ping and Darkrai ping, you'll probably be able to knock it out the next turn. So this deck is very, very good at trapping your opponent's Pokemon in the active spot like that. Very, very good. Which is fun, man. That's what I love. I love having access to stuff like that. Being able to Greninja ping and Cyrus in the same turn feels pretty good. So let's talk about some of the cons of this deck. You really only have 2 modes, which is either you're going Darkrai mode or you're going Absol mode. Absol mode feels a little bit bad because of how much 30 snipe to the bench there is in the format. Now, against Blaziken and against Hydreigon, I don't feel as bad about it because you can just lock them out of the game forever. You can keep them from ever playing the game. The Altaria is a different story though, because of what is it? They don't need Rare Candy Evolution in order to turn into their Mega or their big attack or whatever. But their Jirachis are a lot easier to get through. If you put a Rocky Helmet on the Chingling, or even if you don't, you can go Darkrai ping, Greninja ping, Chingling attack, and that'll knock out a Jirachi. So you can chew through those Jirachis pretty quickly and then get your Absol down later on in the game, which isn't a bad idea at all, because Absol can go toe-to-toe with the Altaria. Look at my opponent. I item lock him, dude, and he leaves. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. You'll get a lot of games like this. Even more so than like any other deck, to be honest. I've never had people concede more to me on the ladder than when I was playing this deck. And I wish I had like just a little bit better quality games for you guys. But like I said, earlier today, I played a lot of really crazy games. I had an insane game against Magnezone or Oricorio that I wish had been recorded, because that one would have been a treat for you guys all to watch. But I can only sit here and fish for gameplay for so long before I'm out of time. I spent an hour just looking for gameplay on this today. And that's usually like the max of what I have time for. What else can I say about this deck, man? What else can I say? Do I think it's like A tier? No, I don't, because again, like The Chingling Greninja Darkrai really gives you a leg up against the evolution decks. But Altaria is going to be a problem. I feel like Suicune's probably just going to be a problem as well. The deck can brick pretty bad. You are only playing 2 attackers, and your other cards are all like support Pokemon. So if you don't find those guys, and they're not necessarily the easiest to set up, right? Like, your Absol's the easy one to set up. Your Darkrai, not easy to set up at all. It takes 3 energy attachments. It takes a while to get the guy going. So if you don't get them early, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in a lot of trouble because you just won't have the time to attach to it and turn it into an actual attacking threat. You're going to just be trying to buy as much time with the Chinglings as possible. And you see here, my opponent goes for Absol and puts a Rocky Helmet on it, which is pretty annoying. But what I know about this matchup, man, is just item lock, item lock, item lock. That's all I really need to worry about. So what I'm going to do is I don't want my Chingling to get knocked out by this Rocky Helmet damage. So I am going to think about it. And I'm going to bench that second Chingling. And I'm going to attack with that second Chingling instead. And I'll let my opponent knock out this guy with the Absol. I don't really care all that much. He's already pinged 30 onto my Darkrai, but I know that the way the damage is going here, that he probably won't he won't be able to get into Hydreigon because I'm not going to let him for as long as I possibly can. Like, next turn, I can just attach the Darkrai, force this Absol out of the active spot, and then get another turn out of Chingling because he's not going to knock himself out into the Rocky Helmet damage. Now my opponent does go for a copycat. I should have thinned my hand a little bit more. I should have thrown those Rocky Helmets somewhere. But to be honest, I was eating dinner at this time as well, so I was just stuffing my face. I'm watching myself chomp on some food right now. You guys don't get to see that angle. Maybe subscribe to my Patreon, $100 a month, and I'll let you see the food cam. But yeah, I should have thinned it out so his copycat was a little bit weaker. But at the same time, there's not really much I care if he finds. He's not going to get Rare Candy Hydreigon. I'm not going to let him. And I do get Cyrus as well. So now I'm feeling like extra good because I can probably, I mean, it depends on what he's going to promote here. I would love it if he gave me Chingling, but he's not going to give me Chingling. And what I end up doing here, this is a misplay as well. Again, I was eating, so I wasn't thinking too much, and I was running out of time, or at least I thought I was running out of time. What I'm going to do this turn is I'm just looking around, and I see, okay, well, no matter what my opponent has this turn, I'm going to be able to knock it out with the Darkrai. So I think I'm just going to use the Cyrus this turn and sure up the knockout on Chingling. Now, this was my thought process was, I don't know if my opponent's playing Pokemon Center Lady, but honestly, if he was playing Pokemon Center Lady, it probably wouldn't have mattered that. Actually, it would have. It would have, because you'll see what ends up happening. The only way I get punished by this is if my opponent benches Mega Absol and retreats into it. If he was playing Pokemon Center Lady, he could have gone 30 Snipe onto Darkrai, attached to Mega Absol. I don't knock out Chingling. I still need 2 points in order to win. I am not able to attack with Darkrai because he will have only 80 damage left on him. And then Mega Absol will come in and knock him out. If he doesn't come in with Mega Absol, he could just Cyrus it instead. So actually, it might have been the wiser play. Because if he had Pokemon Center Lady, I would have been extra out of luck. And this prevented my Darkrai from taking any more damage. Which means I'm just going to be able to... well, I'm not going to put the Darkrai in the active spot because my opponent has 4 cards in his hand. I am expecting a... what is it? I'm expecting a Hydreigon combo to come out. Now, if my Pokemon had Pokemon Center Lady this turn, would that have been enough? He just concedes. So he didn't have Pokemon Center Lady. I think Pokemon Center Lady might have lost me the game there, too, if I didn't have my second Greninja, which I don't believe I top decked or even got to see what my top deck was. I think if my opponent had Pokemon Center Lady there, no matter what, I was going to lose that game. Okay. But, all right, so this deck, like, what would I rate it, honestly? I think it's a pretty solid B-tier deck. I think it's a solid B-tier deck. Oh, one last thing I got to get off my chest, okay? It's at the end of the video, so now no one's going to see it anyways, but I got to say it. In my tier list video, I had a felled off tier. And people were like, bro, you just said felled off. Like, I thought you guys were saying that because it's like an old thing. Bro, I didn't realize that not everyone is as chronically online as me. And like, some people thought that I wrote felled off because I thought that that is how you wrote that something fell off. Like, that was grammatically correct, bro. I'm like, no, dude. I don't know what's worse. People thinking I'm like old and my references are old, or that I'm illiterate. I don't know which one's worse. But yes, I know that felled off is not a term. I know. And it might be a reference that only I understand. I think I picked it up from the Yard podcast. I've been saying felled off for the last 2 years, knowing full well I'm saying it wrong. All right, I say felled off or felled it off. This was a big waste of everyone's time that watched. If you made it to the felled it off rant at the end of the video, drop a comment. Let me know who felled it off, I guess. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.